What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 119, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, aka the Muffin Mon, and today I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host, Mr. Physical Copy. Ethan, how you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing fantastic. Getting into JRPGs is a wild ride, okay? And I've been doing this ride for the last 2 years, and I think it's coming to full here today with One Piece Odyssey over this last week and a half. And I'm really happy to report on that later during our What You Playing section.
Man, I'm so happy to hear that.
It's growing on me.
you
I don't know
know,
what it is. I'm figuring it out. It's a good time.
every we'll talk about it later, but every time you post in the Discord, I'm like, I know it's gonna be about One Piece. Let's go. It's just so exciting.
That's all I'm
Soon,
talking about.
soon you're gonna be a degenerate weeb like me.
I'm
All
already
right,
a degenerate weeb. I just don't play
for
the
anime.
games.
All right,
For
yeah,
anime.
yeah, yeah,
I don't do it for the games though. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Well, we're going to work on that. But this is an Xbox podcast. If you like that, remember we are live every Thursday right here on YouTube at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning on your favorite podcast service. While you're over there, please drop us a rating, a review. It does help the algorithm and helps us grow. If you want to interact with us more, please come join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. Come chat games with us, movies, that new Scream 6 trailer
Oh
looking
yeah,
pretty
Scream
fire. Tell
6.
you what, all
Or
right?
One
If you want.
Piece Odyssey. Come
Or,
on.
or you could just talk One Piece with us. We got an anime manga channel. All right, we could just talk
I'm
One Piece.
watching One Piece along with playing the game because the game made me want to watch the anime, so I'm finally getting into it.
You know what I've been doing is I've been going on YouTube and just looking up like most emotional scenes or
Oh, and you're
like
just crying.
just like I remember the good times. But anyway, if you would also like to support us further and get early access to all Save the Game Media's content, like No Limits, Frame by Frame, I Hate My Friends, plus Patreon exclusive post shows, head on over to patreon.com/save the game media. Choose the tier that is right for you, like our current Patreon supporters. So thank you to Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Amon, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Anna Hudak, Nikolai at Night, Cypher, Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, The Snack Network, and Dave Hotright. Thank you all for your support. We appreciate every single one of you. Little note for anyone listening: some changes are coming to the Patreon next month. Okay,
More
just
content.
yeah, you actually are getting more content, but we're gonna make some changes to what's exclusive, what's not. It's all just go check the tiers. It's all listed out for you. I've already made the updates, but starting in February, that is when that's gonna take effect. So anyone that listens on public feeds, you're actually gonna get a brand new podcast from Save the Game Media that's only been Patreon exclusive, and that is Save the Game Boy, our Nintendo podcast, once a month.
Yep.
All right, Nintendo ain't got that much going on, but it will be on public feeds. We're making some changes. Hope you guys look
Too
forward to
many of
that.
us love Nintendo. We got to talk about it with everybody.
It's true. It's true.
It's true.
But
It's damn true.
Ethan, we're going to start the show like we do every single week, and that's going around the room and asking one simple question. That question is, what have you been playing, my friend?
Literally, the only game I've been playing, Kevin, is One Piece Odyssey. I haven't even turned on Modern Warfare 2 this week. That's how much I've been playing One Piece Odyssey. It is great. I'm gonna say it's very, very good. I'm not gonna put it in the great category because I have a few gripes with it, and I'm sure we'll get into more of the details whenever we eventually do our full-on review. Me and Kevin, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, we are gonna do a One Piece Odyssey review sometime maybe next week. Whenever we can finish the game. Obviously, he's way ahead of me. I don't have as much time to play games as him, or well, I do, but I just have other things I like to do. But
You like watch TV and
yeah,
stuff.
I read books like a nerd. Like I do weird stuff. Okay, check out Brianna's Book Bonanza every month comes out. It's a great time. But this game is just incredible. I'm about done with chapter 5, I believe. I'm fighting the Ice Colossi right now, back in
my
Waford.
least favorite Colossi.
Oh, is it the least favorite because it's the hardest one to beat?
Yes. Yes,
I
it
am.
is.
So, all right, in the Discord, I talked about how I couldn't beat it. And then I said, oh, I figured out how to beat it. But I got to tell you, I definitely pulled the trigger early on saying I figured out how to beat it because it beat my ass afterwards.
Oh,
When you
no.
get it down like below half health, it starts doing the area attacks that hits everybody. And you can't keep up with healing enough of your members. So I'm going to have to keep trying and trying. The AI that is with you is completely useless. But again, we'll talk about all that during the review session.
Wait, well, hold up. He at the end of every turn will jump in and go Tempesta, and then do no
Listen,
damage.
listen. He I had the ice colossi down to one hit. It was one hit, even with my weakest person. Like Chopper could have came in and one hit this guy, right? With a general attack. And he decided to buff my characters that were on the sliver of death.
He's like, here's a defense buff for
Yeah,
you.
and they were all frozen. Every single one of them were frozen. He was the last one left. I'm like, dude, if I need you at any time, I need you right now. And he did not come through. So I'm gonna have to go back and keep fighting this ice colossi, but I got it on the ropes. I'm doing good. Overall, though, this game's great. It has some pacing issues at times. Some of the quests can be really repetitive and boring.
Mhm.
I know I'm saying a lot of things that may shut people off of this game. I don't think I should I want to make it very clear this is an incredible JRPG. I'm having a really great time with it. The characters are fun, the environments are colorful and exciting, the quest lines are interesting. I think it's a good love letter to the anime for what little I've seen of the anime. Kevin, I know you're a big fan of the One Piece anime. You just pointed at me. I'm sure you can back me up on that. But I'm having a great time going through some of these big arcs that I haven't seen yet in the anime, and I can't. This is honestly getting me excited for the anime playing this game. It's just getting me excited for the anime because I see the emotional impact that a lot of these scenes have, and I'm like, man, I bet you that hits way harder after you've watched 400 episodes and gotten attached to these characters. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Mhm.
excited for everything One Piece right now.
No, it's also the only game I've been playing this week. I know Persona 3 came out today along with Persona 4, which Persona 3 is now
Yep.
it's in my list to play. I got some other things. Fire Emblem comes out tomorrow.
You
Also
got a lot. You're getting spoiled this month with
going
JRPGs,
into my
Kevin.
list of games to play. I just got a code for a review that I don't know if I can talk about, so I'm gonna be on the safe side and play it. We'll have a review coming out soon for a game coming out at the end of the
Spoiled.
month. So yes, there's a lot going on for me. I'm going to be moving soon. Like I am super busy with games and everything going on, but it's JRPG Central, all right? I'm going to finish One Piece tonight because I'm at the final dungeon. All right? So
Crazy.
I just I got to do that. So I'll wrap up the main story there. My current plan is to keep it installed, and then once I finish the game I'm playing for review, Fire Emblem, Persona 3. Hopefully, it won't be the end of February yet. It might be the end of February by that time.
It's gonna
But
take you so long.
I have until the end of February to play those, and then I can go back and start cleaning up those achievements in One Piece. But the end of February is where things kick back up with more JRPGs. We got Like a Dragon Ishin coming out, and then a bunch of platformers that I want to play.
And a
That are
lot of
gonna
them, most of them coming to Xbox. That's a
Mm,
big thing. I'm loving seeing all the
it is.
JRPGs on the Xbox ecosystem.
I'm
Love it.
I'm glad that you bought One Piece on Xbox, by the way. Like I feel
Where
like
else would I have bought it on?
you listen.
I haven't turned
People
on my PS5 in 2 months, Kevin. I turned it on to play the Forspoken demo, and then I vomited on myself and then turned it off because it was a terrible video game. That's why I
people
turned it on for.
people will occasionally, okay, they'll be like, "Oh, well, PlayStation's for the JRPGs. I'm gonna go over there and play my JRPGs on my PlayStation." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't do that. I talk the talk, I walk the walk. I would support JRPGs when they come to Xbox. And I'm glad we have this initiative.
Also, no chance any of those JRPG developers used the haptic feedbacks or did anything with that. So, in reality, it's the same on both consoles. So, it's whatever your preferred UI on the menu is. My Xbox. So, I mean, I'm gonna play there.
Imagine every time Luffy stretches his arms, you feel like the resistance on the dual sense. Oh,
That would
it'd
be
be
nuts.
terrible. It'd be terrible.
Break your controller halfway through the game.
No, but like I said, we're gonna do a full review for One Piece Odyssey probably next week. But I do want to let you know that yes, the moments that they recreate, they go on their own little spin. It's clearly an homage to the anime. Hit so much harder if you know about the anime and was like, there was one point I just saw it. I was like, oh, they're gonna do it, and then it wasn't what I thought, but it was like clearly inspired by. So that's great. Shout out to this bot in the chat trying to get
Shut
us
up,
some
bots.
followers. Yeah, shout out bots. Woo, let's
Don't
go.
click on the link.
Ethan, I don't know if you can
Yeah.
take care of that, but anyway,
I can look.
that's all I got for this week. So why don't we go grab a seat and we'll go around the news for this
I
week.
can't take care of it, by the way.
All
I'm only a
right.
guest right now in Melon, technically.
That
Yeah,
makes a
I'm
lot
not
of
special.
sense.
I'm not special.
I seem to have lost my stuff here, but story number one, Ethan, and this wasn't our number one story until last night. I kind of redid
Ooh.
whole show based
Yep.
on this. Bethesda and 343 Industries have had some layoffs, but the overall story is Microsoft has laid off 10,000 employees, including some in the Xbox and Bethesda workplace. So before we get into the story, I do just want to say we wish everyone who was laid off the very best. Clearly, this is a
Absolutely.
incredibly difficult time. The entire tech industry, the whole sector is having mass layoffs. We just saw more at companies owned by Fandom just today.
Mhm.
It is crazy out there. So nothing but best wishes, and hopefully you guys can find some work soon, get back out on your feet, because definitely did not deserve to lose your job. It's completely out of your control, and that always sucks. So I hate to see that. But getting into the story that we're going to talk about, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has confirmed 10,000 layoffs during what he described as, quote, times of significant change. According to Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg, Xbox and Bethesda's divisions were affected. Schreier confirms that Bethesda Game Studio, who are currently developing Starfield, and 343 Industries, who has most recently put out Halo Infinite, were two teams heavily affected by the layoffs. While Microsoft has not commented on it, Schreier reports that several employees state 343 was hit very hard by the layoffs. It sounds like 343's Halo Infinite campaign team got hit the hardest. In an email to staff, studio head Pierre Hintz wrote that, quote, we've made the difficult decision to restructure elements of our team, which means some roles are being eliminated. In further news, Joseph Staten, who came back to 343 to help get Halo Infinite over the finish line, is leaving and rejoining Xbox Publishing. So we're going to have a question from Arkwing, who says, with the news of Joseph Staten leaving 343 and the news of Microsoft cutting jobs at 343 and other divisions, does Halo Infinite have a chance of making a comeback at all? Seems like that chance is slipping further and further away, and these cuts don't help. Ethan, what are your feelings on the overall situation? We can talk 343 first, and then we can talk
Sure.
Starfield Bethesda.
Yeah, obviously 343 cuts. I honestly am not surprised. So look, when these things happen, you got to think Microsoft proper, the big guys, right? They say, "Hey, we need to shave employees." Obviously, I don't think Xbox is the only division of Microsoft that lost employees during this huge layoff thing. I know that's the case. Like you said, all tech companies are kind of shaving people off right now. We're in a bad economic environment combined with a lot of processes are getting automated now, especially in the tech industry as we advance technology. So people are less needed than before in this sector. But I don't think that's necessarily the case in game development. But specifically with 343 Industries, I don't think it's necessarily the death knell for the game. I think we'll still see some sort of DLC. I think Xbox is going to invest enough because they made that promise that there's going to be continuous updates of content to Halo Infinite, not just on the multiplayer side, but on the campaign side. It may lag development a little bit in a game that's already dealing with lag development. But in terms of a comeback, I don't think Halo Infinite was going to make a comeback, period, after the first 3 months. I mean, not in the environment of gaming that we are in today. When you're trying to maintain a live service multiplayer platform, you got to have the content to keep people engaged. And they just didn't do that. And they lost a lot of players, including me. I haven't played Halo Infinite since February or March of last year. And that's
Mm.
because they just lost me. And there's no reason for me to jump back into it when I have games like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, or Sea of Thieves that are giving me the content that I want and providing me with a good experience. There's no reason to stick with Halo Infinite, which at this point, again, I haven't played in forever. So I don't know if they have new maps or game types or anything. But to me, everything that I've seen out of them is just stale. It's the same stuff that I saw at launch. So I don't care. So 343 is definitely not making a comeback. I still think we're going to see some campaign DLC though, even with these layoffs.
So, in terms of Halo Infinite, I have played more recently. I know I played a few weeks ago with Carpool Gaming, Sean Capri, our friends over there, and we had a group doing custom games. Forge really did help that player base.
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
Custom game. You got to get me in on that.
Forge has been great for Halo Infinite. Everything I've played, I know I was playing with the Iron Lords too a few weeks ago. It was fantastic jumping into these fan-made maps. The content some of the people are putting into this game is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I am worried now about campaign, specifically because it seems like the division that was hit was the campaign. I know we got that post-credit scene in Halo Infinite's campaign where it teased more coming to the story. People have been speculating and wanting, like, oh, hey, maybe we can get some Arbiter DLC and all this stuff that fans really have been hoping for. I'm not so confident that we see that now.
Really?
Yeah, it seems very much to me that Xbox, Microsoft looked at what teams are their most valuable assets, and 343 was determined to not be among them. So they're like, those are where we're going to cut.
If that was
Halo.
the case, I don't think they would be cutting from Bethesda then. If
I think.
unless Bethesda had some extra fat on it from Starfield's development. I
Well,
mean, that's the only thing I could think of.
we're speculating here, obviously. Sam in the chat
Right.
says campaign DLC is 100% dead. Focus on multiplayer live service elements. Return on investment for campaign DLC as opposed to monetizable multiplayer stuff.
And I
This
know
isn't working.
me and Sam had a great discussion in the Discord about this and how I made the point that I think Xbox is okay if they just let Halo lie, right? They don't need to. Halo is not necessary for Xbox anymore. We had a great discussion about that, but I still feel like Xbox feels obligated to put out some sort of DLC for Halo Infinite because it did promise fans a lot. And we've seen a lot of developers who came out and broke their promises, and they've been scrambling to try and fix that ever since. And I think Xbox, out of anyone, would be doing that, especially with a franchise like Halo. And like I said in that discussion, Xbox, I think, should let Halo lie, but they did put out this game. They did promise fans the content. I think they are obligated to put out at least one sort of expansion pack. I don't know if it's going to be grand like Arbiter coming back or anything crazy, but there's got to be something for the single player side of Halo Infinite.
Who heads that up? Because if Joseph
I don't
Staten
know.
left, he was the head of creative after they did the restructuring just a few months ago with the whole Bonnie Ross situation.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, like, he's left. He's gone back to Xbox Publishing. They've cut the campaign team. They're focused on live service elements. The Forge is out now, which is keeping the hardcore people engaged and playing it. In my eyes, this is kind of like, okay, we're gonna have enough people at the studio for status quo. I don't really see the investment. I see them get the multiplayer stuff out, and maybe Halo goes away for a few years or longer
Right.
until we get the next Halo game. I saw people on Twitter being like, and I obviously titled this because I wanted to have a discussion. Is it time for Xbox to retire Halo or whatever I
Yeah.
titled this episode? I genuinely don't think it's time to say goodbye to Halo, but I do agree with you and Sam that Halo needs to take a break. Like, we
Break.
need to. 343 has not worked out for Halo. Halo 4, I did not enjoy the campaign. I know it's divisive among people, but the multiplayer wasn't there. Halo 5's multiplayer was better. The campaign was atrocious. Halo Infinite, I think, has a good campaign. The multiplayer from a gameplay standpoint is fantastic, but there was no content. It was struggling in development hell for so long. 343 just can't seem to get it together. And from what former employees are saying, it was a leadership issue. Like, I
Right.
know there were multiple people coming out after the layoffs being like, when I was at 343, there were so many leadership issues. Like, the devs care about Halo. They didn't deserve this. It was Microsoft or the heads of the studio top down. So
Yep.
that sucks to see. I hate to see that. And I just don't know where 343's future lies, because if they can't get Halo right, the game they're named after, do we let them do another IP? Do they rebrand the studio and let them spin off? Do we give Halo to someone else? I don't know where they go from here.
Yeah, there's a lot of different avenues they could take. I don't think we could even guess what they would be now, especially in the environment we're in now. So many crazy things happen. So anything could happen. But like we said in that discussion, there is a ton of individual talent at 343. You can see that in the games that we played from them. I mean, Halo Infinite is a great first-person shooter, mechanics-wise. It has great gameplay, great gunplay. It's really fun. When that first 3 months, when I was playing Halo Infinite, I was having an absolute blast playing that game. Just the chaos of the battlefield. Big team battle was fun, but then just the cracks started showing, and the well started to dry up with content, and it started to get stale, and that was the biggest issue. So yeah, but circling back to the whole conversation about the employees getting laid off at Microsoft, yeah, obviously our hearts go out to all those people. It really sucks to see people lose their jobs. I did read though, and this is really cool, that I think they gave them like a 2 months notice of the layoff and they're giving him a full severance package.
That's great.
Which that is something that in the game industry I feel like doesn't happen often. I feel like a lot of people wake up the next day and start going on Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm out of a job. What the hell just happened here?" There's a lot of quick cuts like that. So obviously Microsoft is in a position that they can do that. They're a huge company; they can afford to do that. So obviously they're privileged to be able to do that. But it's good that the employees were given a heads up. I hope they can find those jobs again. With Bethesda's case, I do think that was trimming the fat off the studios after making a giant game like Starfield.
Hmm.
Obviously, there are temp jobs in game development, and you're going to have to trim the fat when you're coming to the end of a game's development cycle, and that makes sense. And like we've talked about, the whole tech industry is losing employees right now. It really sucks for everybody involved, but that's just how our economy is going right now. It's not going the greatest. These companies can't really help it. They got to save money somehow. And I know usually the first thing they do is they cut jobs. Whether you think it's right or wrong, that's just what they do. So it's really unfortunate for everyone all around. But I don't think this is going to affect Xbox like crazy. I can't imagine that it's going to delay games and do anything. Microsoft is fine. They got plenty of money, guys. Same thing with Sony. Same thing with Nintendo. They got plenty of money. Games will still come out. It'll be okay.
Yeah, so they I'm kind of on the same page with you about Bethesda's layoffs. I am less worried about those because Starfield is meant to be coming out soon. So that
Right.
could very well be the additional people they brought on to get it over the finish line. Like they don't need them anymore. Until someone says otherwise, that's what I'm going to like assume. But Sam brings up something in the chat. And I did just want to note before we get to Sam's that I've seen an outpour of other development studios posting on Twitter being like, if you're looking for a job. I know
It's
Gorilla has done
awesome.
a ton of PlayStation studios have come out, and not just PlayStation studio, but like
Go for it.
other
Yeah.
development teams have come out, be like, we're hiring over here, like come apply, and they're trying their best to help
Taking care of
people.
their own, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a lovely thing.
Now, going back to what Sam says, he says compared to Sony paying an additional 1 billion specifically to retain employees at Bungie, it's a bad look for Xbox shedding 343 Bethesda employees whilst trying to bring in thousands with Activision Blizzard King. So that I want to touch on the last part of that because Activision Blizzard King has 9,800 employees.
Mhm.
They just laid off 10,000. So pretty comparable numbers there. Do you think the 10,000 that they laid off here are to offset the new employees that they will bring on, assuming assuming this acquisition goes through? They now have to take on those 9,800 employees, at least for a little bit, I assume.
Right. No. And for the simple fact that Xbox doesn't exactly know, or Microsoft doesn't exactly know when Activision Blizzard King is going to be fully absorbed. They don't know when, they don't know the date that they're going to start paying Activision Blizzard King employees. You know what I mean? So how are you going to cut all of your employees in anticipation for something that there is a possibility that this case could go to trial with the FTC and it could take multiple years before this deal is done. There is a multiverse out there where that happens. I don't think you take that risk as a business and start slashing employees before you have a definitive time like, okay, we're going to start paying these employees. And I don't think that's the case either. I think it's just the economic environment we're in. Like you said, Meta's been laying off people, Twitter's been laying off people, Snapchat laid off a bunch of people earlier last year. The whole tech industry right now is going through a diet, I guess you could say. They're tightening their belts because, again, combination of economic environment and a lot of people are leaving social media platforms. It's sort of trying to go against big tech. A lot of people are not really trying to engage in that stuff, so they're losing some money. And also, I think January is a time where a lot of companies kind of tighten the belt a little bit because December, nobody wants to fire people before the holiday season. I think everyone kind of waits until that
Yeah.
January lull to let people go if they have to do it, whether it be for cost cutting measures or for performance issues or whatever. People try and tend to fire people in like January, February timeframe, at least in my experience in life, like looking at companies doing this sort of thing. But I don't think it necessarily is for that because, like I said, these businesses, they don't work on hunches. They work on like set time frames. Like we are going to start paying X amount of dollars on this date. So we
Mhm.
need to shave the X amount of dollars off of our, our budget here. Like I don't think businesses work like that.
That's it's fair. I think it is a bad look to because I think people
It
were
is a
saying,
bad look. Optics are bad.
yeah,
I will say that.
optics do not look good to lay off
But
10,000 while
businesses
you're
aren't good at
bringing in
optics.
another 10,000. Microsoft has expanded way too much since for even just the last 2 years. Like they've grown, I think I saw a stat they hired like 75,000 in the last few years.
Oh, yeah,
Like
they've been bulking
they've
up.
grown a ridiculous amount. It was and with the oncoming recession, or maybe we're in a recession, I don't know. People keep telling me it's a recession.
We're on the edge, I'd
We're on the
say.
edge. It was inevitable, I think, and they've made the decisions. It sucks for those involved. Hopefully, like I said, they land on their feet. Hopefully, Starfield comes out within the next few months. All right, because I know
It should.
there was
We'll be fine.
a little rumor going around that it was going to be delayed till the summer. But
It's always a rumor.
well, yeah. Speaking of rumors, Ethan,
Yes.
segue.
Ooh.
Scalebound rumors are heating back up.
Oh,
The
no.
once in development collaboration between Platinum Games and Xbox, Scalebound was originally revealed in 2014 but was canceled in 2017. We've heard rumors, as we've discussed previously, of a potential revival, and feeding those flames is a recent round of rumors from Nick over at Xbox Era, who states, quote, "Now look, it's a very, very early, but I've been told that Platinum is working with Xbox again to look at bringing back Scalebound," end quote. Why? Why do we keep getting to talk about Scalebound?
I guess we should ask the question, is it even worth to bring back Scalebound? Do you think that this IP even still has enough people that remember it or are excited about it to carry it over a finish line? Like, does anyone really care about Scalebound at this point? I think its time has come and
Mm,
gone. Because it refreshed my memory, because this was when I was in the middle of my Navy career. I wasn't paying attention to video games. I do know about Scalebound though. This was supposed to be sort of like a live service fighting crazy game, right? Like, am I remembering wrong? Like, it was supposed to be a multiplayer sort of live
it
service type of
it
game.
was multiplayer.
It was multiplayer.
Um,
There a single player element or anything to it?
I mean, you could play it single player. I think it was
Okay.
co-op. I mean, we can here's what we'll
That's
do.
how far removed we are. I mean, you got this was now coming up on 6 years ago. I feel old. Holy cow. It's 2017,
Here,
almost 6 years ago, Kevin.
for the YouTube people.
Yeah, let's
Here's
look at this.
Scalebound. No, what's going
Oh,
on
oh,
here?
it's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah,
There we go.
it froze on my screen. That's it wasn't. This is pre-alpha gameplay for anyone curious. So it
Yeah.
is very much like you got some dragons. You got this weird dude rocking a garb and some headphones. All right, where's the actual gameplay though? Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
My God, it's just freezing.
It's chugging right now.
Yeah, this is the video, but like it's on my computer
Oh,
chugging.
okay.
Like the game is just this choppy.
I mean, I'm assuming this was probably development footage that was taken in 2016 or something like that,
Yeah, I think this
2017.
is
Yeah.
2014,
Um, Either way, I mean, it looks like a Monster Hunter type of game.
2015.
I don't know. I don't know if there's really a market for this anymore. I'm on the wavelength of let dead IPs die. You know, like just let them go. Let's move on to something different. There might be enough people at Platinum Games that are really passionate about the project who haven't forgotten about it, and they're making enough noise that want to do it. And if that's what they want to do, absolutely, all the power to them. I hope they make a great video game. As a consumer, though, I have no care in the world about Scalebound. It was something that could have been cool back in the day, and it's gone now. It's like as if, like, imagine if Wild Hearts were canceled right now, and then
Mhm.
5 years later we hear about Wild Hearts might be getting made. That's how much I care about Scalebound.
Mhm.
Like, no offense to any of the developers out there working on it, obviously, but I mean, I don't think it's the big. I think there's been a lot of blow up about Scalebound just because it was Xbox's really big, high profile sort of blunder, I guess. One of their biggest high profile blunders, and a lot of people have it in their memories, and a lot of us Xbox enthusiasts know about this. But it
I
really is a not a big issue.
I remember being excited for Scalebound. Like
Yeah.
the reveal trailer, everything. I was like, this looks sweet. I'm in multiplayer. Looking back now at that gameplay, I was like, oof, that does not look
We have
good.
different standards now, obviously, and I think if they were to restart the program, I mean, they'd have to build this game from the ground up, right? Like they just have to restart, with a new
I know
vision.
they reused some of the old assets in Bayonetta 3, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, they
Oh,
took I don't know, maybe some monster designs or something,
sure.
but
Yeah.
Scalebound for me is one. Am I okay with it coming back? Yeah, sure. I'll take a new IP. Is it
Yeah.
something I'm like clamoring for? Not really. I'm not over here like, oh, please, Platinum. Like, if Platinum's making anything, give me Astral Chain 2. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Astral Chain, the completely underrated game from Platinum Games. And it really depends on what team at Platinum would be making this game, too, because
Right.
we
Platinum
all
is like a
know
coin toss at this point.
there's the Bayonetta team getting 90s, and then there's
Right.
the Babylon's Fall team costing you
Babylon's
fantasy.
Fall team.
All
The
right.
Babylon's Fall team is getting put on Scalebound. Look out.
Oh God.
Oh
Um,
man, that's
well,
rough.
we'll see what happens. According to Xbox Era, very early talks. No idea if anything actually happens, but something that is quickly approaching, Ethan,
Yes.
Hogwarts Legacy. Now, right off the bat, I want to say this. You can do whatever
Uh,
you want about Hogwarts Legacy, okay?
Go crazy. Yeah.
All right. Hogwarts Legacy, though, is selling huge ahead of its release. This comes from Forbes, who says despite the release date not being until February 10th, Hogwarts Legacy is already selling huge. Hogwarts Legacy is currently the number one game on Steam and the number one selling physical PS5 game and number two Xbox game on Amazon. This comes amid some controversy surrounding the game due to the views of the IP creator J.K. Rowling, but there's no denying the success that this game is primed for. So, Ethan,
Yeah.
crazy. It's not even out yet. It's not out for weeks. Number
Right.
one on Steam, blowing up.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I think it just shows how important the Harry Potter IP is to so many people. You got to think. I feel like everyone's childhood, from millennials to Gen Zs. I mean, we all grew up knowing about Harry Potter, whether it be the books or the movies, or yeah, even some of the older video games. I remember playing some of the older video games on the original Xbox or the Xbox 360. A lot of us grew up with Harry Potter in our lives, and there's a lot of passion out there for that IP. Yes, the creator of Harry Potter has said some shitty things, and we acknowledge that. But that doesn't mean you punish the hundreds of people that have been involved in creating video games and love stories to this sort of IP. I mean,
Mhm.
this IP has been so important to so many people's childhoods, and it's so exciting to see a game finally get created that it feels like this is the first Harry Potter game that really there's a lot of love put into it. It's not just like a movie adaptation game, or it's not just like a cash grab sort of game. This is the first time that they've gotten a development team together and created a game that's a love letter to the IP, and it's an actual immersive experience into Hogwarts in the Harry Potter world. And I think that all these pre-sale numbers are showing in an age where I feel like pre-sale or pre-selling games isn't as popular as it used to be, because a lot of people are wary about buying games day one.
Broken games.
Broken games. And I think that just shows the power of this IP and how excited people are. I think we can acknowledge how terrible some of the things the original IP holder or the original creator of Harry Potter, I think we can acknowledge how terrible she is in some aspects. But at the same time, we got to separate the artist from the artwork sometimes and realize there's a lot of people that worked on this game, a lot of people that are very passionate, a lot of people that aren't shitty like she is, like J.K. Rowling is, and we should respect them and we should appreciate their work. And this game is gearing up to be a great video game. I've seen a lot of gameplay on it. They've been pushing it heavy. It looks good, and it looks like it's going to be a good time. And I'm excited for it. I'm going to play for it. Obviously, anyone out there, if you don't want to play it, I absolutely understand. It
Mhm.
makes perfect sense. Okay, so don't feel ashamed that you're not playing it or you're playing it. Do what you want to do. I love it.
Yeah, I think what this shows is that despite what I see on my Twitter timelines with constant
Twitter doesn't
people,
count.
yeah, the amount of online backlash that you get if you say you're going to play Hogwarts Legacy, which I'm not, by the way. I'm not a Harry Potter guy. I don't care about Harry Potter. I think the game looks great, though. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it looks like a great RPG, and I completely understand that this is a huge IP. It's selling huge already. That being said, the people out there calling for boycotts of this game, I think you need to bring yourself back to reality. Okay, if you want to make the decision because you're uncomfortable supporting J.K. Rowling, completely
Absolutely.
acceptable. Completely.
Absolutely.
I draw the line at attacking other people
Yes.
and trying to tell them, hey, I'm offended, so you can't buy this game.
You can't buy it.
Otherwise,
Right.
you're a bigot. You hate the trans community. And it has nothing to do with that. All right. There are so many games that have probably been touched by people who are bigots and just haven't said
Yeah,
it,
you
or
guys are
in
gonna play
some
Final Fantasy 16, and they literally a month ago said that black people aren't allowed in their video game, all right? So don't come to me about playing Hogwarts
it,
Legacy when you're about to play Final Fantasy 16, you Twitter users.
it's moral grandstanding in my opinion. The older I get, the more I'm
It's
like
virtue signaling.
cancel culture as a concept is so stupid, and we go after people for the dumbest stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that fighting for trans rights isn't important. I support trans rights.
absolutely
If I
important.
bought Harry Potter, I would still support trans rights because, in my view, a few extra million to J.K. Rowling's pockets because she's a billionaire does
She's
not
messy with
matter.
money,
You
yeah,
know what matters is supporting the hardworking developers who made this game. And I see people, well, they don't get royalties. If you don't buy the game, their studio is going to shut down and then they're out of a
yeah. A
job.
lot
I
of
don't.
bonuses are tied to sale numbers too and pre-sale numbers, so
It's. You try to explain that to people, and it doesn't compute.
breaks them.
So
Yeah.
it's so frustrating, the conversation around this game, and it's just showing me that the online world is not the
It's not
real
the real
world.
world. It really
I
isn't.
I wonder how many people if I walked up to the street and I'm like, "Do you know about J.K. Rowling?" Do you think normal people would know? Like,
They won't
I
have
don't.
any idea.
They probably forgot about her after they stopped reading Harry Potter forever ago. All they know is I
Right.
liked Harry Potter as a kid. Or they like them now. They don't. You don't keep up with everything. You don't look into every single creator of everything you've loved because it's. I watched Jeepers Creepers back in the day. Ethan, do you know about Jeepers Creepers creator?
I have no idea about the Jeepers Creepers creator.
Okay, well, the Jeepers Creepers, for anyone unfamiliar, is a horror movie.
Yeah, I know it's a horror movie. I've never seen it though. I know.
Well, turns out the creator of said horror movie is convicted of child pornography.
Oh,
So,
Jesus Christ. Whoa.
should I cancel myself for having watched those movies back in the day?
No,
Is that how it works?
that's crazy.
All right.
And
That's all I'm
also,
saying.
wasn't who's the guy that like did Cthulhu? Like the guy that did that horror genre, like he did like Cthulhu, a lot of waterborne horror.
I don't know.
You know what
There's
I'm
so
talking about?
many filmmakers that are like
Um,
that 70s show. Apparently, Danny Masterson, all right, is
oh
in,
God, yeah.
you know,
Okay.
I saw if I watch that show now, am I a bad person?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't Drake Bell commit a crime too? I watched
Yes,
Drake and
and
Josh
I will
back in
watch
the
Drake
day.
and Josh. I
I
will
watched
still
Drake and
watch Drake
Josh
and
back
Josh.
in the day.
I'm just saying, don't we
People are
can't draw
terrible, and
these
we just have to
lines.
accept
We
that. We
can't
just have
draw
to
these
enjoy our lives,
lines. All
right?
right. I'm just I can't. Anyway,
Either way,
congrats to
Hogwarts
Hogwarts.
Legacy is going to be a great video game. I fully believe that it's going to be a good game. I'm excited for it. I think the Harry Potter IP has been starving for a proper video game adaptation for a very long time, and I think these pre-sale numbers really show that starvation that I was just talking about. That people are hungry for a game like this, and I'm really excited to see how it pans out. I really hope this hits. If this doesn't hit, this is going to be my biggest disappointment of the year because I'm really excited for this game.
Well, I'm looking forward. I know we got a few here at Save the Game Media that will be playing it. We'll probably do a review discussion on it.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
if you want to hear their thoughts, just stay tuned for that. I won't. I don't get the whole Harry Potter thing. Okay. Justin Roiland, Ethan. That's an example we could have
Uh,
used. We could have used him. All right.
That's very recent, though. That's I feel dirty playing High on Life after all that news. I'm like, come on. I couldn't get that news right before the game came out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would have actually would have disappointed me more because I
yeah,
was excited for High on Life, and then I would have been like, I can't
I would
play
have
it.
been really sad. Yeah.
Can't play it. Anyway, let's go to something a little more positive, maybe.
Anything's more
Suicide
positive than
Squad.
that. Oh, well,
Suicide
never mind. I don't know.
Squad. This comes from Andy Robinson over at Video Game Chronicle. A screenshot of the Suicide Squad game menu has leaked and appears to confirm the game, as was long rumored, is indeed a games as a service game. It shows a battle pass, which, according to VGC, will primarily be for cosmetics, and one of the currencies shown, which apparently is XP used to level up your characters. So, Ethan, I'm gonna take this one because I wasn't really that interested in Suicide Squad to begin with. And knowing now that it is indeed a games as a service game has killed any interest I've had in playing said title. I I don't really have much more to say than that. It sucks that the game was leaked. It sucks people found out this way. I saw people
Yeah.
being like, "Oh, we've known this for a while,"
Well,
and I was like, "Well, it was rumored. We didn't know for like I think I said a few episodes ago. I think it's a single player game, and then it was like, no, it's multiplayer. So what do I know?
you know
It
what?
just isn't for me.
I'm going to take a devil's advocate stance and say I'm glad this was leaked. And I'm glad a video game developer is going to hear from the community that this is not what we want, because I feel like gamers are sick and tired of these garbage shovelware games as a service games. Games like Marvel's Avengers that come out and they don't tell us anything about the game beforehand, and we all expect something really fun and we get it and it's just absolute shallow trash. Okay. And it looks like this game is gearing up. Rocksteady is not a studio that you think of when you think of a games as a service game. These guys are the creators of the Batman Arkham series, which is widely lauded as one of the greatest video game series of all time, one of the greatest superhero video game series of all time, if not the greatest superhero video games of all time. And they're coming out chasing this trend of games as a service or live service games. This is not what your fan base wants. This is not what they expected. And this seems like a cash grab, and it's really unfortunate. Now, I know I'm talking a lot of crap right now because I don't know. I'm not a big fan of games as a service model like this. I got burned really bad on Marvel's Avengers. So when I see a superhero movie that's kind of, or a superhero video game that's kind of in this model, I get really frustrated. So it might just be my backlash towards Marvel's Avengers talking here. But this is really this is really concerning to me, seeing this sort of thing. I'm hoping that it's not as egregious as Marvel's Avengers. I can see a world in which a games as a service model with a team-based sort of battle game with superheroes can be fun. I'm sure there's a way to do it. Marvel's Avengers sure as hell didn't do it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if Rocksteady's going to be able to do it. I don't know. Rocksteady to me is an Arkham developer. That's the type of games that they make, great single player experiences that aren't games as a service like this. But we'll see. We haven't seen enough of it yet. We got to see more. I'm ready. I want to see gameplay, more gameplay. I want to see more mechanics be fleshed out. I want to see what their monetization policy is. That's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think the news story said there's going to be a Game Pass.
Battle
There's
Pass.
going to be a battle pass involved in it. That's scary. So we'll see.
Reportedly just cosmetics though for the battle pass, which I do
That's
think
what most battle
helps.
passes are, though.
I don't know enough about. I don't play enough games.
I mean, if you play Fortnite, if you
model.
play Fall Guys, if you play Sea of Thieves, most of the battle pass is cosmetics. Like that's there's not really any battle passes that'll give you a leg up. Maybe Call of Duty because it gives you certain gun like skins and like modifications on guns and stuff. But really, most games of a service are with a battle pass are cosmetics. So I mean, I don't know.
Okay. I mean, listen, I think fans of Rocksteady just wanted a single player or co-op.
That's all. That's
game.
all anybody wants.
I don't know why and they're not the only team I think that took like we know, like you said, Marvel's Avengers did it. Gotham Knights definitely was a live service game at some point. The amount of currencies in that, there's no what you cannot convince me otherwise that was not a live service game at some point. The way everything is designed, I was like, and this is where the battle pass would go, and this is where like they literally designed it that way and then just took it out. And this
That's
very
funny.
much, I think, if you're excited for it, great. If this doesn't deter you, great. Like I hope it's good.
I'm still gonna play it because it's a Suicide Squad game. Like I will make a report on whether this game is good. I'm just gearing up to be disappointed because I want this IP to be great. I love Rocksteady. I want them to be good.
I've never played their games, so
They're great, Kevin. They're great.
I don't know. Something about Batman, I can't do it. No, it's weird.
Come on, Gotham's a great sandbox to play around in.
I
You play
like
Gotham Knights
because it had Nightwing. I like the characters around Batman more than Batman.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. I think that's the interesting part of Batman. But like Batman himself, I'm like, he's just okay.
Just
He's
want to
all
play
right.
Alfred for a whole game. I just want an Alfred game.
Remember when they made that TV show about Alfred and he was like
Yeah.
jacked and like
Yes.
whooping?
It was like when he was younger or something.
Yeah. It's like it's not the Alfred I know, but
Yeah,
go
it's the
off.
Alfred you want though.
All right, Ethan. Story number 5. The Callisto Protocol under delivers. According to Krafton, the game's publisher, they are reportedly unhappy with how the game is selling. This comes from PC Gamer. Krafton reportedly expected the Callisto Protocol to sell 5 million copies this year, but has revised the target to 2 million copies, which they admit, quote, will not be easy. Krafton reportedly poured $161.6 million into the game over its 3 years of development. And I cannot believe that figure. That is the one that I saw reported multiple times now.
Yeah.
How in the world did this game cost nearly $200 million?
I have no idea. Because what is that like? Maybe close to half the cost of God of War Ragnarok, right? I think God of War
No,
Ragnarok cost like 500 million, right? Or something like
no,
that.
no, it didn't.
Hold on, let's look this up because hold on. God of War Ragnarok.
I Googled development costs. The
260
budget,
million. Wow.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They made that back
Or
like
did I get that
immediately
wrong?
too.
I might have gotten that wrong because
Eh,
Bing is terrible and that's my default thing and it's
Oh
really
my word.
annoying. I don't know how to change it.
Regardless,
Anyways,
most
regardless, that's a lot of money to pour into a game that was like that. That was like that. Look, like I've said, there are a subset of people out there that will enjoy the Callisto Protocol. I
e-
think there are
everyone but you and Bree that I talk to likes this game.
that's crazy because I've seen a ton of people that don't like the game. Okay. Because they tried to, like Bree said, and I'm going to credit Bree with this. They tried to reinvent the wheel when it came to combat, and it just didn't work out. It worked out in the sense that when you were on one combat or moving through a linear area, it was fun. But when you dealt with multiple enemies, it became a slog. It was not fun. The camera was terrible. The graphics were great. They weren't like knock your socks off. I don't know where this 160 million went. It's kind of crazy to me. And it's really disappointing because I want this studio. It's Striking Distance, right?
Yes.
That's the name of the studio. I want Striking Distance to continue making video games because the Callisto Protocol has the hallmarks of a great video game. I just think there had to have been something wrong there at the end. There was a hiccup in the process, right? But there's clearly talent there. There's clearly good vision there. The story was nothing to write home about, but it was fun and enjoyable. I thought I liked the characters in it. I want this studio to keep going. I mean, Glenn Schofield is the creator of Dead Space. This guy brought us like the beginnings of sci-fi horror genre in video games. I mean, this was, and we're about to get the remake of his game that he made, this month, and it's going to be incredible and people are excited about it. And I want him to continue making games and I want his studio to work out. I don't want him to be under the thumb of EA like he used to be, right? Because he went from doing Dead Space to working on stuff like other crap. Like I forget what he was working on. He was working on some multiplayer games like PUBG and like stuff he didn't really care about or whatever. But I mean, this is his bread and butter, and I hope he doesn't think that just because this game didn't hit with the audiences that people don't want his style of game anymore, because we do. And we love that style of game. That's why the excitement of the Dead Space remake is so high right now. And it's sad because I really, really, really wanted this to hit. I really wanted Callisto Protocol to be great, and it just wasn't. And these sales numbers kind of back up that idea that this game just wasn't it. There was just something missing to it. I don't know what the problem was, but there was a problem. 5 million copies. That's a bonkers idea for a brand new horror IP from a brand new studio. I don't know where Crafton got that idea that they were going to sell 5
I
million.
I think they were banking on the Glenn Schofield name recognition,
The
look, the
name
Dead Space,
recognition.
yeah, the Dead Space look like themes. I think they were really banking on that to carry them, and I think reviews really put people off this game because, like I
And
said,
the
a lot of
problem too
people,
was review embargo dropped the day it came out. Like
yeah,
that was a big red flag to a lot of people wanting to get this game.
yeah. I know. Like I said, I know Kyle, my brother. He didn't pick it up because of the reviews. He's going to wait for a sale, probably a deep sale. But I also think that if other people saw those reviews, they would be like, "This is not for me." And then I know people like Ains, Mr. Badbit, Luke Lore. Like I know plenty of people who have played the game and really liked it. So much that some of them got the platinums or even more. Like, there is an audience for this game, and maybe they didn't nail it the first time around, but I think even if they can hit that 2 million mark, maybe lower the budget for this, like tighten things up, maybe try to stay a little more within your means for the sequel and really deliver what people were looking for from this game. Because just because you didn't nail it the first time, I think there's probably some good stuff in there from what I've heard from other people that just needs
Absolutely.
to be refined.
Yes. Absolutely agree.
But yeah, 5 million is crazy. I don't know where the $161 million went, apparently, but ludicrous figures.
I mean, it was great animation. They had a good cast. I just don't know. It was a 12-hour game that wasn't really the most polished.
Hmm. Ethan, speaking of not polished, this story is for you, buddy. I didn't even put it
Yeah.
like, what the hell is Sky Oblivion?
Okay. So let me sell you guys on Sky Oblivion, right? Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion comes out in 2006, one of the launch titles for the Xbox 360, one of the greatest video games of all time. Obviously, Bethesda Studios, Elder Scrolls, one of the quintessential Bethesda video game series, Oblivion being their, it says Elder Scrolls 4, but it's really their 5th installment, if you guys know about Elder Scrolls history. But great video game, super fun. And there's a lot of dedicated people out there that love Bethesda projects, and there's a lot of modders out there. Anybody who plays Bethesda games on PC, whether it be Fallout or any of the Elder Scrolls, will understand, or any of you future Starfield players on PC, I'm sure you will understand eventually. The modding community for Bethesda is absolutely nuts. They will go to the ends of the earth to do the most absurd things possible to mod into this game. Sorry, I had to cough there. Sky Oblivion is exactly what it sounds like. It is the Skyrim engine and the Skyrim graphics ported into Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. So Skyrim obviously coming out in 2011, that's Elder Scrolls 5, and they're taking that engine, importing it into the 2006 game, remaking it from the ground up within that engine, redoing all of the dungeons, all of the characters, all of the armor sets, all of the weapons, all of the quest lines, all of the towns, all of the environments, all of the sounds, everything about this game is now in the Skyrim engine. They did a big live stream yesterday about, oh God, it felt like 6 or 7 hours. They were live streaming, showing off this, what they had so far. Obviously, you saw a lot of missing textures, some bugs, because this is a decentralized, sort of independent group of people that are coming together. This is artists, freelance developers, people that are passionate about the projects, coders, texture makers, all that good stuff. They are coming together to basically remake Oblivion in the Skyrim engine. They just released a trailer yesterday or the day before that, and we got a release date, or a release year, I should say. 2025 is when Sky Oblivion is going to come out. It is going to release in 2025 at some point. That's what they think is it's going to hit. Hopefully they can make that. From what I saw from that live stream, they've been making a lot of progress. They've been not only in updating this game to be in the Skyrim engine, they've been improving a lot of things with Oblivion. They've been expanding some of the quest lines, obviously to fit the lore of Oblivion, and it's not going to be any different from your traditional Oblivion experience, but there's going to be a lot more love and care put into these quest lines, into dungeons. Things are going to be bigger and grander and more exciting. There's going to be new items. There's going to be more specific items, items that look unique, that didn't look unique before. All little stuff like that. That's just going to make Oblivion such a more exciting video game to play. Because if any of you out there who are fans of Elder Scrolls ever play the vanilla Oblivion experience right now today, you're going to be like, it's kind of a muted world. You know, things are kind of saturated and it's kind of boring, whatever. You got to play this game with mods if you've been playing as long as I have or anyone else has, these Bethesda games. But I'm really excited for this project. This is probably the biggest. I would argue this is the biggest modding project that has ever been undertaken in gaming. It's an absolute ground up build of Oblivion in the Skyrim engine. I mean, that's an insane feat, and it's taken them years and years and years. You got to think Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim came out in 2011, over a decade ago. Okay, that engine came out over a decade ago, and people have been working on this ever since. And we're finally probably going to see it in 2025. I hope they meet that goal. I'm I'm over the moon that this is coming out. I'm almost more excited about this than I am about Starfield, Kevin, because
No.
Oblivion Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is my childhood. That was the first game I bought on the Xbox 360, the first game I bought with my own money. And I've spent probably over 2, 3, 4, 5, who the hell knows at this point, 1,000 hours into this game. I've played it way too much to even speak of in my life. Big game in my life. I'm really excited to see this come through. Huge collaboration between an incredible group of people that are very passionate about these projects, and it just shows how incredible the people are in our in our space, in the gaming space, whether it be creators on YouTube that do podcasts or gaming videos and stuff like that, or people who actually work on these mods or anything like that. It just shows the passion and the love that people like us have for video games, and it's so exciting to see these projects come to fruition.
I have no comments on the matter.
Sky Oblivion's gonna be lit. It's gonna be great.
I hope it's everything you dream of and more.
Yes, it will be.
They should hire you as a spokesperson, though.
They should. I know. Let me get some money out of that. No, I don't think. I think they do it pro bono. I don't think they make any money off of this.
They should. They should charge.
They
But
should. I know.
Ethan, to round out the show here, now that you've gone on your Sky Oblivion tirade, I don't even know.
Everyone wants to hear about Sky Oblivion, Kevin. Come on. Everyone loves
I think I went to a different dimension for a little bit there.
It's gonna be great. Just don't get me started on lore. You want me to talk about Elder Scrolls lore?
Listener questions, and we have
Favorite
four. Well, we had one early in the show that I incorporated. There's 4 here currently from Mel. I don't know if we do all 4 of them because some of these I don't know
Let's
what
do 2
he's talking
today,
about.
2 next Thursday. How about?
All right, let's start with this one. How would you feel about a monthly to quarterly developer conference like Nintendo Direct for Xbox?
I don't know about monthly. That seems like a lot for developing studios to put together. I would say quarterly is a great idea. I would love to see. I think that's the sweet spot with any video game fan or anybody that's interested in the platform. A quarterly show would be great. Doesn't necessarily need to be a development or a developer spotlight, because again, whenever you have to do these developer directs like we're about to do, you're taking time out of these developers' day that they could use to actually be making the game. They got to plan for this. They got to get ready for this showcase. They got to make trailers. They got to do a bunch of stuff.
Develop vertical slices. It's not as easy as just like, oh, we're just gonna capture some in get like they have
just
to
sit at
go
this
out of their
table and
way.
talk about it for a little bit. No, it's not like that. It's a lot of planning that goes into these sort of things. So maybe not bother the developers too much unless they want to be bothered, if they want to do that. But I would love to see a quarterly show from Xbox. I think that would be great, whether it be one of these developer directs. Maybe do 2 developer directs and 2 showcases. That would be really cool.
2 showcase. I was thinking 3 developer directs and their big June showcase. I think that's really all we need throughout the course of the year.
That's cool too.
Either
way, 1 a quarter. That's all I want.
I don't know what else you would need them to say to us. Like at that point, we're getting too much. That's Deathloop getting shown 16,000 times.
Yeah,
over again.
Xbox has said they want to hit that one, first party game a quarter mark, and I think if you have 1 showcase or development direct a month, then you can have that mainline that show. I think that's just a perfect fit for the schedule that they want to have.
Last question of the show. It's been 1 year since Microsoft announced its intention of acquiring Activision Blizzard King. What is your outlook on what the chances of this deal going through look like? I still think it's going to go through.
Yeah.
But it's the lowest I've felt about it because of all the FTC stuff and everything that happened before the holidays. I think if you had asked me in December, I'd been like 100%. Now I'm very much like 60%.
I don't know at this point. From everything, at this point, I'm just going off of what I read in business and in gaming space. Like, obviously, you have to go to multiple sources of news about this, not just video game news. You have to go to finance news. You have to go to legal news. You got to go to a bunch of different things. Hogue Law has been a great resource on this. Listening to him, hopefully he recovers quickly. God be with him. But I don't know at this point. From everything I'm seeing, they're sort of confident that it'll go through this year still. From everything I've heard, the FTC really doesn't have a case. As much as you agree with their position, they really don't have a leg to stand on here with this legal case. So we'll see if that goes to trial, if Xbox wants to fight it, which it seems like they do. So it probably will end up going to a court. So At this point, it wouldn't surprise me if it gets delayed, I guess I should say. I do think it's going to go through. I have 100% confidence that the deal is going to go through eventually, but I'm not sure how long it's going to take. It could be this year, it could be next year, it could be 2025, 2026. Sky Oblivion could be out before this deal is through, Kevin. Sky Oblivion
Oh,
could be out.
that's actually true though. Like
And I'd be
this
perfectly happy.
this deal could take years. If it takes years, I'd rather them just cancel the deal. Like just move on. Like this.
I don't know about cancel. Think of all the IPs that have been killed and buried by Activision Blizzard that you want to come back. I mean, Xbox will bring them back, right? Like we have to believe. We have to believe, Kevin.
As long as I get Crash Bandicoot games, I'm okay.
All right. I mean,
Right?
I
That's all I
respect
care.
that.
Yeah,
I respect that.
That's all I care about. But Ethan, that will do it for our show this week.
Yes, sir.
Thanks everyone for hanging out with us. And if you're on audio, make sure to drop us that rating, review Apple, Spotify, and come over to the YouTube. Click the subscribe button because I bet a lot of you aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel. Save the Game Media on YouTube. We need your help to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. Please come over, hit that subscribe button. But Ethan, where can people find you if they wanted to hear more from you?
On the Discord, come say hi.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mon. It's a 1-7I and 0-7A. Follow us at Save Game Media over on Twitter to stay up to date with all of our latest videos coming out. Like I said, changes coming in February. Things are going to be good. More content for
content for everybody
patrons.
and Patreon. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So until next week, we'll see you. Goodbye.